What's up guys, Josh from Strength Side. This is another follow along beginners calisthenics routine. All you need is just your body weight. If this is too challenging for you, I recommend checking out the last video I posted and it's a little bit easier. So we're gonna start in the same way we started last time with going into the quadruped hover. So those knees are floating right off the ground. I'm gonna hold for around 10 seconds. I'm gonna rest and then I'm gonna float those knees back up. I'm pressing my shoulders forward over my hands, and that's what's gonna really engage my core here. And that's what we're doing. We're getting those core muscles firing. We're trying to keep a really neutral spine. We want to stay really hollow, trying to push the shoulder blades to the sides of the rib cage. Also squeeze the legs, squeeze the butt. We want this to be a full body engagement. So as you guys can see, I'm at a random basketball court at a school working out. I love working out outside. I'm curious, are you guys working out in a gym or at home or outside? Comment below, let me know. And if you're not working out at all, just go ahead and comment cake, because we all know that's pretty much what you're doing. So now we're gonna hop into some back lunges here. Now, I'm gonna start in a good standing position. I'm gonna bring one leg back, reverse, bring that knee down to the ground, and then stand back up. Simple, right? But what I'm really trying to do is I'm trying to stay very compact. I'm not overextending my spine. I'm keeping my core tight, and that's going to ensure that all the movement and all the drive here is coming from my hips, right? We want the hips and the legs to be powering this movement. I'm trying to control that lower down. I'm not letting that knee drop down. I'm not going to bang my knee on the ground. I'm going to kiss the ground with the knee. I'm going to stand back up. I'm going to fire those glutes, and I'm going to be a man. Okay, good job on those back lunges. Next, I have a real treat for you. This is called a static bear crawl. So we start in the quadruped hover that we did at the beginning, and you're gonna pick opposite limbs up. So right here, I'm picking the right foot and the left hand up, and then I'm just gonna keep alternating like this. Now your job is to keep your torso and hips as straight as possible. So we're not trying to rotate a bunch through the torso. A little bit, of course, is gonna be okay. And in the beginning, you'll probably have to rotate more. But the way that you're going to keep yourself stable is by that hand that's still into the ground. You're going to really press that shoulder away. Same with the foot. That's going to keep your torso really tight, and it's going to keep you stable while you're losing those other 2 points of contact. As always, fix your man bun if you need to. Shake your wrists and your arms around. Keep everything loose. By now you should be super warmed up and you should be ready to do some good morning. So this is the straight leg good morning. I'm keeping my knee all the way locked out, and then I hinge my hips down to 90 degrees at the torso, or even a little bit deeper if you have that hamstring flexibility. And notice that my hips travel backwards. That's what's creating this hinge movement, and that's what's making my hips work during this movement rather than my back. My back stays super straight. We want that neutral spine. We want that chest tall. I'm keeping my head in alignment with my spine as well. You can kind of just tuck your chin. And I really love this exercise because we're working on hamstring flexibility and we're strengthening this end range, these hamstrings and these glutes. Next is the squat to hover lean. So I start in a squat position with my hands on the ground, and then I lean forward, bringing my knees towards my wrists, and then I sit back into a squat. Stretch your arms out, lean forward again, putting all the weight over the wrists here, right? So really press into your shoulders, press the shoulder blades to the sides of your rib cage. We want to really load the shoulders here, and then we take all the load off and we sit back into that squat. As we sit back into that squat, we're going to be developing more and more mobility in the hips, and as we lean forward, we're developing a lot of protraction strength in the shoulders. This is a pretty unique exercise. Maybe you've never done this movement before. I'm curious to know which exercise you guys are liking. Which ones have you never done before? Which ones are you like, damn, this is gonna get me a lot of gains? Comment below, let me know. Our next exercise is the basic body weight squat, but we're gonna do this right. I want you to put your hands out in front of you to counterbalance your weight. You're gonna let your knees drift forward. Yes, it's okay to let your knees come forward over your toes, and you're gonna get your hips down as low as you can. Check me out here, getting nice and deep. That's exactly what we want. We want to use all your body's mobility, and we want to create strength through those lower ranges, because that's typically where you're weaker. So keep those feet glued into the ground, bring those hips down. Try to keep your torso as upright as you can. If we lean forward a little bit, that's not a big deal. We're gonna lean a little bit, but the hands forward will help counterbalance you so you can get deep, stay upright, and use those legs to really power yourself back up. Pause in the last rep. Yes, if I didn't mention this before, we're hitting all the muscle groups of the body. So we're hitting an upper body movement, then we're hitting a lower body movement, and we keep on rotating. So now it's time for push-ups. If you can't do the full push-up, you can do the push-up lower. I show that in the previous beginners follow along. But what I'm gonna do is start in a good plank position with everything protracted and hollow. I'm then gonna bring my hips and chest down to the ground, and I'm gonna press myself back up to that starting position. If you can, we really want to control these reps. Don't just drop your chest and hips down to the ground. Really control yourself, lower down with control, kiss the ground, as I like to say, and then press yourself back up to that starting position. As you guys can see, after every movement, I like to stretch my arms out wide. I like to keep the joints moving. It feels good to move, and I suggest you guys do the same between your sets. So we're pretty much gonna run through the same leg movements for the second half of this workout. So we're back to the back lunge. I don't really have much more else to tell you guys about this one. You guys know what to do, and if you don't know what to do, just stick with strength side, man. Stick with me. You're gonna keep on learning. You're gonna keep on developing your body in the right way. Okay, 8 reps on each side later. I think I'm finally getting a little bit tired here. I'm trying to fake like I'm feeling strong, but yeah, I know that I could probably use a breather. That's why I'm talking to the camera. I'm like, hey, let me distract against me taking a little bit of a rest here. But we're gonna hop into working our back muscles. I think that's what I was saying to the camera. I was saying we're gonna work the back muscles. So we're gonna bend over. I wanna see if you can get your torso to about 90 degrees, and then we're gonna do a bent over T. So we're gonna initiate the movement by pulling the shoulder blades back, and then you're gonna lift the arms directly to the side. So try to keep those shoulder blades in retraction throughout the whole movement. But when you get to the bottom, let them fall out of retraction, let them fall to the sides of your rib cage, and then forcefully pull into retraction again. Hold on that last rep, squeeze those shoulder blades together. You can hold the last rep of any of these exercises for about 5 to 10 seconds. I recommend that on almost every single thing that I do. It's gonna really increase the amount of gains that are coming towards you. So now we're going to hop back into our good morning. So for this one, I take a little bit of a wider stance. I even, let's see, I point my toes out a little bit. This is just gonna change a little bit of what's going on there in the hips with the wider stance. You can choose to do this or not, but what you have to do, I'm not giving you an option, is do these good mornings again. So keep that knee straight, hinge the hips, move the hips backwards, keep that back straight, head in alignment, and try to really feel like this motion is coming from the hamstrings and the glutes, right? We want the hips to really drive everything here. And as you do this more and more, you'll feel those muscles more and more. Just keep working. Okay, so right here, I was actually about to do a single arm Y, and then I decided that's gonna take way too long. Let's make this into both arms at the same time. So as you can see, I'm sitting back, I'm butt to heels, but I'm leaning my torso forward a little bit, and then I'm going to do this Y motion with my arms. So just like the T, we're initiating through pulling the shoulder blades back. Then we're going to lift those arms. I have my thumbs pointing up. In the last beginner follow along video, we did this laying prone on the ground, belly to ground. Now we're just at a different angle. Pull the shoulder blades back, lift the arms in a Y angle. You can hold at the top, maybe pause there for a second. Try to feel those trap muscles working. As you can see from this shot coming around the back, the trap muscles should be really kind of driving this motion, and the thumb up helps us stay in external rotation. Okay guys, and we have our last leg movement, kind of last leg movement. Don't quote me on that, but this is going to be our last set of squats here. So we're gonna squat down. Now in this set, I just paused at the bottom for a 1 to 2 count on each rep. Pauses are a really good way to build up more strength at that in range. So once again, letting the knees come forward, that's not a problem. I'm bringing the hips straight down, really squeezing my butt, trying to keep a neutral spine here, trying to keep upright, trying to keep my head in good alignment, you know, all that good stuff, all the alignments. Squeeze the butt to come back up, and we're gonna do 10 squats. Pause on the last one as always. And once again, I forgot my exercise selection in my head. I had to take a second to remember it. Hey, I was tired. So I hopped down on my knees, but then I'm back up and I'm going back into that bent over T position. But this time we're gonna do the W motion. So I'm gonna bring my elbows up, and then I'm gonna bring my hands up higher than my elbows. So the elbows up is driving retraction of the shoulders, and then when I drive my hand up and back, that's driving some external rotation of the shoulders. So we're getting the whole back really lit up. You should really feel your trap muscles, the muscles in between your shoulder blades, and you should really feel the back of your shoulder working as well. Okay guys, almost done. I hope you're feeling as good as I am, but we have one last exercise left, and that is the basic crawl. So back in our quadruped position that we know so well from this workout, and we're just gonna crawl forward now. So Remember that static crawl that we did at the beginning, trying to keep your torso as straight as possible. Now, you're still trying to keep that torso as straight as possible, but we're just moving forward. And we're moving in a contralateral pattern, which means my opposite limbs are moving at the same time. You can take this very slow. As you get the hang of it, you can speed it up a little bit more, but try to keep those knees nice and close to the ground. If they start drifting up too much, then that probably means that you're using your legs too much, and we want this to be evenly distributed, hard word to say sometimes, between the shoulders and the legs. Now, if you're feeling up to it, you can crawl backwards, which is even a bit more challenging just to get the coordination and balance down. Guys, that's the workout. Thanks for joining me. We all crushed it together. If you liked it, give it a like. We're thinking about doing these weekly or bi-weekly. Comment below. Once again, let us know what your favorite movement was from this, and subscribe to Strength Side, as always.